Well, hello there, and welcome to the Slim Pickens channel. Today, we're gonna have a little bit of fun here. I want to see if by your ears, if you could tell the difference in between these three guitars you see lining up here next to me. I don't know if you can see that one really well. I'll bring it around so you can see it. We're gonna see if you can tell the difference between the cheapest, the cheap, and the not so cheap. I got a Rosen. You probably seen it about a couple of episodes back. I got a Rosen. It was about $80. $80 was with the gig bag and all that stuff. A starter kit. I always throw in them little goodies, you know. And then I got a Lagrima, and I think Lagrima is Spanish for, it translates to English, means tears. So it probably sounds just enough to make you cry. Just good enough to make you cry, maybe bring a tear to your eye. I don't know. The Dean, I've had that one for a long time. It's been a good friend of mine. Good to pick around on. So what I want to do, I think, is see if we can show the differences in what you get when you buy a cheap guitar versus an expensive guitar. Deans aren't really a cheap guitar. They're in the hundreds and hundreds upon hundreds, almost depending on which one you buy. It's very expensive for an acoustic guitar, Dean, because they're good quality. But both of these are already a cheap deal. But we'll see if we can see the differences in tones between all three of these. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to start with the cheapest. Now I'm going to explain this guy here. He's made of wood. Let's start there. What kind of wood, I don't know. I don't get into that kind of detail, I guess. I'm just a man who loves guitars and loves everything about them. But they are cheap. Sometimes you do get what you pay for. I don't know if you can tell it in the camera, but I'll explain it. It's a difference in colors here. When they did I think they just got lazy when they got to the body of this and just didn't finish out that many coats to get it to be that darker green. The neck is better quality than the body. The body just feels cheap. It's not well balanced either. The neck is really heavier than the body. Sometimes I'm struggling when I do play it to kind of keep it balanced and play it. It's not really comfortable. So in that aspect, you do get what you pay for when you get cheap. It's got to be comfortable to you because you want to learn how to play it or you want to play it and have fun with it. That's the thing. And it's not supposed to be miserable and seem like a chore to play music with this thing. And so the neck is really thick. I have sanded it down, but it's still something about it that's just not comfortable at all to play. So enough jibber jab. I think I'll start with my Dean first, and then we'll move right along. Now, I don't own a tuner, so I'm just put another disclaimer out there. I don't own a tuner, so these might not be as closely tuned in the same pitch as each other. One might be a degree down, but I do the best I can with what I got. The best thing about this Dean is I haven't touched this thing in like about a week or so, and it's still in tune. Alright, so there's the Dean. There's the sound from the Dean. Now let's move into the Rosen now. And this is kind of this is an $80 special. Now this one, I tell you what, for it to be an $80 special and a cheapie, it feels good to hold, feels good to play on, like my Dean. That's just that comfortable. Yeah, like I said, it might be a little bit different in the pitch. And it stayed in tune. I just went through this yesterday. If y'all seen the previous episode, you know I went through it, put new strings on it. sorry, it is about a half pitch lower. I do the best I can. Alright, so there's the Rosen. Let's get this one out. And this one here is probably about $10 cheaper than the Rosen. And like I said, it definitely feels it. It's just feels, yeah. So I'm gonna take this off. Now, I want to see if it stayed in tune, because I just, well, got no choice but to carry on without that. I'm going to. But I did go through this like I did the Rosen, put new strings on it, tightened up the neck, or straightened out the neck, gone through it. I sanded down the back. You see where I went and sanded it, but I put clear coat back over it to seal the wood back. It just, I don't know if you can pick it up in the camera. It does just, it's just cheap. But, yeah, it's just, I don't feel very good. So, let's see if it stayed in tune. Nah. So it didn't stay in tune. So far it's got tuning issues. There we go. Let's do the E. Alright, let's see what we got here. It's not comfortable at all. Now, it does have a good tone to it, even though it is built so cheap, but it's just not comfortable to play. I feel like I'm having to hold it up, support it, because this neck is really heavy. It's just not, it's really thick. It's not really comfortable to play any chords on. It's like I'm having to overwork to play the guitar. The tone's not bad. So I will give credit where credit is due. So you do get what you pay for sometimes when you go real cheap. I think this one was like $70. It came with a gig bag. Excuse me. Came with a gig bag. It was picks, dust cloth, all that stuff to get you started with. So my thing would be, if it was me, I don't really try to preach what everybody else should do. This is just me. If it was me, I would probably go ahead and buy this to learn on, knock around, and things of that nature. But trying to carry it and keep it through your whole, musical life or whatever, I wouldn't. This would probably be good for a little kid to play on as a toy guitar. I don't know. But because when you're learning how to play an instrument, you want to be comfortable. Because when you're first learning, you're going through the difficulty of teaching yourself to play the chords and stuff of that nature, and you don't want something that's going to be uncomfortable to hold or anything of that nature. And you want it to look good to you too. It's got to have that appeal to it, I think. And so, if I'm not gonna even, I played this beginning of the video, but I'm not gonna put that in the lineup of the guitars of the affordable, guitars that I would go with. Out of the three, I would really go with, if I had a really, really tight budget, and this channel, it's stuck on a broke budget all the time. So staying within the broke budget bounds, if you really want to learn how to play a guitar, look up these Rosens. These Rosens are really, they got a lot of good quality put in them. So yeah, these Rosens are pretty good. I like the quality of it. I mean, it feels good to hold. They put a lot of work into it. And it's just, I don't know, there's just something about it. And for $80, I mean, that's a good guitar for $80. Now, a Dean, if you can't go get expensive, I mean, I'm not saying you got to buy cheap to be a beginner or anything of that nature. You could buy expensive. The family dug around a pawn shop in Gainesville and bought this Dean for me. For like maybe $200. And I have loved this guitar for many years. Well, I'm tired of living life this way. I'm tired of living life this way. I'll be making more money sitting on my butt doing my boss gave me this big pay cut. I'm tired of living life. I'm tired of living life. Well, I'm tired of living life this way. I just love this guitar. It makes it fun to write music on. It makes it fun to play music and everything. It's just comfortable. It just feels good. So Dean's really got it going on for me for this stuff. But if you don't want to break the bank, or a couple $100 is still that high for you, and you want to buy a brand new one, and you want to look them up, I mean, look for a guitar like a Rosen, like this brand here. Probably be a good way to go. But this guy, that's good to buy for probably like an 8-9-year-old that wants to play around, just knock around, pretend they're a rock star, knock around guitar. But it's not really, to me, if you were to learn on it, I think if you were to try to learn on that guitar, this right here, on a starter pack, I think it would make you want to not pursue it anymore after a while, because it just doesn't, it's not comfortable. So there you have it. We've gone through all three of them. You kind of got my take on them. Usually I don't do these kinds of things where, to me it's just, somebody get on here talking about what they feel about certain guitars and this and that. But I try to keep it to where, if I was looking for a guitar and trying to begin, but I didn't want to break the bank and I wanted to stick within a broke budget, I'd be looking for a guitar like a Rosen and things of that nature. Because if you do buy cheap, just keep in mind, you do run the risk of getting what you pay for. In that aspect, go to a pawn shop. That's my best advice. Go to a pawn shop, and they have, some of them have instruments hanging on the wall, and you will find sometimes a great guitar up there. And somebody, keep in mind you are buying somebody else's instruments, and it's set up to where that particular person preferred it to be, But yeah, we got lucky enough to get that for Christmas one year. This Dean, the family bought it from a pawn shop in Gainesville, and I have knocked around that guitar. It needs new fret work. Frets are about wore out on it. But other than that, I mean, after all these years, I've just had to throw strings on it. I ain't had no issues. So, but anyway, thank you so much for clicking on. Stay tuned to the next episode. Hit that subscribe button for me, and become part of the channel that way, and hit that bell for the new video notifications. I try to upload once a week. And until next time, I shall see you when I see you.